I saw Chappie today, the third Blomkamp movie. He did District 9 and Elysium, and now this is his third. And I would say it's the completion of a trilogy. I know that
Well, he would say that. Yeah,
Oh, did he say that?
he has said that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Interesting. Like this was his social exposition trilogy.
Yeah, it seems like instead of making the same, like, three Matrixes, he made the same movie three times and I would say that this is better than Elysium, not as good as District 9. The To like this movie, you have to kind of be like me, where I accept things. Like, there's a heavy-handedness in the
You say that an awful lot.
right.
To like this movie,
But
have
you
to
guys don't
essentially
like
not have
things-
standards.
Hey, at least this one is a pre-apology, right? Like it's
Well,
not like
no. On the other hand, there is more than one person like me, so that's a thing.
mm,
So, like,
So not everyone.
you have to
will
have
hate this
different
movie.
standards, not no standards. Like the heavy-handedness of, like, so District 9 was about like social inequalities and
yeah, that was just straight racial inequality.
right.
It was
and
a peek back on apartheid.
the thing with Chappie, well, for example, no spoiler here, but Chappie starts out with them interviewing a guy talking about Chappie and what, like, similar to District 9. It's like, so what happened? Like, what was the incident at District 9? And they're like talking about this guy. They did two interviews with two different people, news wise. It's like talking about Chappie. It's like, we don't know where Chappie is. Like, we have no more, like, it looked just like the opening District 9. You could have assumed it was District 9. So he is repeating things a lot.
You mean
And-
like super low res and scan lines on the image? Like exactly like it?
It's very similar, yes. And I'm okay with stuff like that. I'm okay with repeating, like, if it's good and like I want more of it, I'm okay with them repeating it. I'm not okay with that particular part because I'm like, well,
Yeah,
it's not that I'm not okay with it. I just know that the majority of people aren't okay with it. So I'm like, why are you setting yourself up like that? Like, why in the first second are you just giving them the ammunition to be like, no, you can't, I mean, like, just stop. Like, it's like he was like asking for it. But, the moral lesson, this one's about family and how you are who you are based on how, like, the question being like, are you who you are based on how you're raised or by something more internal, like,
You might say nature versus nurture.
yeah, nurture over nature. And and the questions of God, like, there's a question like, if you created me, why would you create me if you knew I was going to die? And like, it's very, like, they say those words and that's very heavy handed, but I'm okay with things like that. I'm okay to be fed a little bit. Sometimes it gets excessive, but the extent to which this one does it is not that bad. I can see why people have issue with it because it's not as actiony as his previous two.
Does
And-
it include a person getting chewed apart by an energy weapon
No,
on
see,
camera?
He went away from that. Like, he has bursts of action, but it's not nearly like District 9 or Elysium. It's way less action than Elysium 9. So, like, if you are a fan of Blomkamp for the action, this one might seem disappointing because
I don't remember him doing like extended action set pieces though. It would be like, here's a firefight that's going to show some unforgiving
I
violence.
would say the second, as soon as they get to, no, there's extended set pieces in Elysium for sure. That's basically what that thing was.
Yeah.
District 9 was not until he gets into the mechanical suit. And then
Oh,
from-
I remember that. That was
yeah,
awesome.
and then it becomes a video game. With Chappie, it's more like them growing up as a family, and like, it's on a short scale, and because he's learning so quickly, they can do that. It's like he becomes an adult in 3 or 4 days, and has those same, questions about who made me, who should I listen to? Because, like, there's the abusive father, the caring mother, and it's just he does all those things well, but it is heavy handed, and I can see people kind of rolling their eyes at that. There's movies that do slow starts to the big payout at the end. You know, like where like you watch 3/4 of the movie and you're like, okay, this is okay, and then like the last quarter is just big awesomeness, and like I'm not a fan of those. I think that you can like maintain quality throughout and not have to have like the grand finale type thing. And Chappie does that, so that's kind of a
It
not
stumbles out of the gate.
yes,
Well, okay,
absolutely.
if it opens with an interview.
Yeah, it stumbles out of the gate, stumbles through a lot, but the ending is a good payoff. Like I would, it's not a must see in theaters unless you just like Blomkamp enough. If you like, are like, if you have a District 9 tattoo, then you should
Yeah.
probably go watch this in theaters. But if you're like, oh, those are pretty good, you could probably wait until this is like on DVD to go get it. Um, the the interesting thing I did find was that how much would you say District 9 cost to make?
I don't know. $50 million.
$30 million movie.
30 million.
Elysium costs 115 million, and then Chappie's back down to 40 million. And I would say of the three, Elysium's his worst of the three. Like I still hold Chappie higher than Elysium. So I think he does do a lot for his budget. And you can say the budget doesn't matter, but it's impressive to get good sci-fi on a $40 million budget, if that makes sense.
Have you seen Europa Report?
No.
I might have more money in my pocket than I
Europa
spent
Report,
on
right.
Europa Report, and it was excellent.
Yeah, but I
That's
guess
true. I wouldn't say it was an excellent movie, but it definitely did a lot.
Right.
It had very small resources.
Yeah.
Right.
How about that? Excellent because of what it was.
But I mean, as far as like film success, because I do look up how much movies make and things, like it will be successful. It will make its money back and then some. I don't know. Like, do you guys have any questions about the movie?
Did
Well,
any?
Go
Oh,
ahead.
No,
please,
you
go
got it.
ahead.
You got it.
All right. Well, your argument is if you like movies, like if you like these movies, you like this movie.
Right.
I don't even know what more to add. That okay.
Well, I mean,
I didn't like Elysium.
Well,
Yeah, I wanted to love that movie, and once again,
I liked Elysium. I'm okay with the just straightforward action movie. That's
if
completely okay.
I feel like Matt Damon made Elysium watchable, just in the same way he broke Interstellar.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, Elysium wasn't my favorite. Were there any, just as Matt Damon saved Elysium and made it a watchable movie, were there any performances that really stood out?
I cannot remember where the Indian guy, what made him famous?
Dev
Slumdog
Patel.
Millionaire.
Yeah.
Oh, Slumdog Millionaire. Okay.
Also the best exotic marigold hotel.
The second one, yeah. Which he's getting Jude Law, you know, like when a whole bunch of Jude Law movies came out the same year. Like he had like two open, this guy's having like that and Chappie come out in basically the same week. So he like he's getting all of his movies that he's worked on released in about a week. But no, he did really well.
Is Charlton Copley back?
No.
No. What?
Hugh Jackman, Hugh Jackman is just a bad guy the whole way through. Like there's no like
Now is he
development of him. He just
an oily black mustache twirling, just snidely whiplash?
no, he's jealous. Like that's the evil that comes from him is from pure jealousy. And then that's another moral thing they have is he's like humans should be like, you know, like robots don't have a soul, therefore they can't. And then when he gets the opportunity to show what humans can do, like him being evil, you know, it like ruins his argument. It's like, no, humans with souls and goodness should do this. And like he goes berserk and stuff like, I mean, you've seen it in the previews. If you've seen the previews, you've seen the whole movie too. That's another issue.
Oh, wonderful. So there are other robot police in the trailer to the movie.
Right.
Is Chappie built to be a cop? Like, is he RoboCop?
It is Short Circuit. Chappie, you know.
He was also struck by lightning.
No, well, yeah, instead of being struck by lightning, he was given oh, that's okay. Slight spoiler, but I gotta talk about it. The guy from Slumdog Millionaire goes to Sigourney Weaver, who's just wasted, in this role. Like she's just kind of like, you have like Sigourney Weaver, and you're just kind of like making her the evil exec. He goes, I invented artificial intelligence, and she looks at him like, we make weapons. What could we use? Like we're in the weapons business. I don't care if you have artificial intelligence. Like there's no executive in the world that would be like,
That doesn't sound useful at all.
yeah, like it was. I'm just like rolling my eyes. Like that's the worst business decision ever made.
Right.
Like,
So does the movie explore the significance of the AI singularity?
it does.
For what it's worth, the term singularity refers to the point at which artificial intelligence can meet and exceed human
Right.
intelligence.
Yeah, I'm actually. My next editorial is going to be on the troll singularity, so that'll be interesting. But it does do that at the. That's the problem. Like the pacing is so slow at the beginning, and then at the end, he introduces all these things that you would have liked to see expounded on. And I'm not. He doesn't make movies for sequels, even though every single one he's had. Oh, not Elysium, but like District 9. The guy said, "I'll be back in 7 years." Like I'll be back in 7 years.
Yeah.
And then in this one, like what happens at the end is like that's the movie I'm really wanting to see, and he doesn't do sequels. It doesn't seem like, so I don't know if we'll see it, especially with the reviews it's been getting. So it's probably not gonna hit that many. But it was good. I mean, you won't waste your time by watching it.
Well, that's debatable. I've heard a lot of bad things about this movie, like to the point where I can't bring myself to be excited about watching it. It's at that point where like I want to see it, but I kind of dread the experience of watching it.
It's not like high intellect movie. It is turn your brain off and accept what you're seeing movie. So
Is it really?
yeah,
But isn't that the opposite of what it wants to be?
Yeah. It seems like Neil Blomkamp's thing was to attempt
It
to make
is
cerebral action movies.
right. It is, but you can't, like, the way he does it is so like, yeah, you can ask those questions and be like, that's interesting, and I'm okay with questions like that being asked over and over again. Like, oh, they've already done a movie on like he's done this before, but like these questions aren't answered. Like, what is God? Like, what makes you God? If you create human life, if you create life, does that make you its God? And like, we haven't really answered those questions. So I'm okay with them being asked again and again in movies.
If only we knew somebody who's created life, we could ask them.
Like, so what's it like?
I mean, there are a couple around here and there.
We're gonna have to find out. That's a follow up.
Yeah. So first we need to watch Chappie, and did they land it, or is it like,
Yeah.
how was it like for you?
There you go.
But no, I would. You're not wasting your time watching it if you like action movies. It does do action in spurts well. If you like District 9's like social aspects, you'll like Chappie.
And how does so District 9, we looked at racial inequality,
Right.
the Bronx. Elysium, we looked at access to healthcare and income inequality, where the rich people literally moved to an orbital station to leave all the poor donkeys behind.
Mm-hmm.
What are we looking at here? What is the huge issue? Is it personhood? Is it
Yeah. So the things they tackle are, I guess there's no real inequality other than him telling him he can be whoever he wants to be. But really it is, he's being raised by, it would be like the creator gives his child up for adoption, which would be the character from Slumdog Millionaire. I can't remember his name.
Dev Patel.
Dev Patel
We've mentioned it.
gives his child up for adoption to these two others, but he still wants visitation rights.
okay?
And when every
Wow.
time he comes back, he's changed, and he doesn't like how he's changed, and he confronts the parents about how they're raising his child.
So and Chappie was manufactured to be a police robot,
Right, and
and the AI
Patel-
was
And then he goes and he's complaining about how they're changing Chappie.
right, like he creates the AI program.
and he sends
Right.
Chappie off to the army.
There's a reason that they have Chappie and he doesn't. I don't want to. That's an actual plot spoiler.
Okay.
But
Well, he
there's-
was hired to make it, right? He didn't make it on his own.
no. Oh, that's another weird thing. He made like this police force that's making a whole bunch of money, and he just chills in a cubicle. Like he's like the lead inventor, and like he's in a cubicle with every other random person, and then Hugh Jackman's in the background in his cubicle, and he's also working on a gigantic billion-dollar robot. I mean, that's how they roll in South Africa, but it's just the social structure is very weird. Like he's like, "Hey Bob, how's your day going? I got artificial intelligence over here." Like it makes no sense. Like where we would like because that character would have been in his own lab or in his own office or.
I mean, you're saying because Steve Jobs single-handedly designed the iPhone and he got a turtleneck and jeans?
Well,
Or do you think that there are design engineers at Apple just grinding away in a cubicle?
it'd be if one person made the iPhone and he's at the cubicle beside the dude who's like, like working on apps. It's like I've invented the iPhone all by myself. It's like, hey, that's a cool story, but
Yeah.
get back to work.
Check out
Mhm.
Flappy Bird.
Yeah,
So he's kind of like Iron Man.
yeah, he,
more or
yeah.
less.
Well, yeah, they give him the more heavy-handedness. I don't want to get like when they like establish the characters, like they go. So what's your next goal? It's like, I want to create artificial intelligence. It's like, is the company pursuing that? And he like frowns and like doesn't answer the question. And it's like during the interview, and it's like, oh my gosh, why are you doing this to me? Like I know I'm gonna have to go explain to two people why this is a good movie later, and you're killing me. But
Do you have to do that though? Do you have to defend this movie?
I don't have to. I think it's good, but you guys have a specific like you can't,
I don't have it
you
prejudged.
don't like action sequences. You've said that.
I think Neil Blomkamp in the past has done them to great effect.
This one is not as good as the other two
Yeah,
for his action sequence.
he somehow manages to put horrific violence on screen, and you don't. It's a flash of unsettling.
There's 3 seconds of horrific violence, and the way it was shot was like you could tell someone was like cheaply shot.
As if their budget was scaled back to like $40
$40 million,
bucks,
yeah.
and they had to hire Sigourney Weaver and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, kudos to those two rappers from South Africa though. They did good. They did fine. Like you wouldn't know that they were, you know something about them, but you wouldn't guess that they weren't just actors. They did their roles well.
Did they?
That's good to hear.
That was one of my questions, where we've seen rappers try acting and it's not always good.
They did better than what's his name? Oh, DMX.
Eminem.
Like he's better.
DMX.
Yeah, that was going to be a failure example.
Yeah.
I think 50 Cent had been successful once or twice, and Get Rich or Die Trying.
The thing
was
with their
convincing.
characters is they're eccentric, so they couldn't unless they're playing themselves. I don't think they could play a role, but you don't feel like they're like phoning in lines or anything like that. Like they're actually good and like.
And are they military members? Like
No, they're
what's
straight hoodlums. They're they're bad people. They're not even good people at all. Like he gets adopted. Chappie is owned by them.
how did
the hoodlums?
The
how
hoodlums.
did they?
How's that?
Yeah,
Can I?
tell me more.
Okay, so
Do you consider this a spoiler? Because the way you're describing it, I'm not even sure this movie can be spoiled, to be honest.
I mean everything's a spoiler. But okay, so Sigourney Weaver says, "What is there any value in this AI you speak of?" And then she's like, "Just go back to your desk," And so he sits there and he looks at a meme that says, like, "Make the day, don't have the day make you," or something like that. It's like a printed out meme on his cubicle, and he's like,
Right?
I'm going to do what that meme says. And he goes downstairs, and Chappie, number 22, they should have made him number 5. Don't know why they
So
didn't.
he had a number.
He was number
Okay,
22.
We're taking it that far.
Yeah, he was number 22, and he always had bad luck. Like every time he would go into battle, 22 would always get hurt. And the last time he got hurt, his chest piece and battery melted together, so the battery couldn't be replaced.
Oh, so now Chappie is on a clock. He's
Right.
self-aware and he's gonna die.
Right.
Huh.
So that's the question. Why did you? Because then he takes matters in his own hands. He takes Chappie, puts him in the back of a van. Well, the gangsters are wanting the off switch for these robots, and they know that he works there, so they're waiting for him. And when he comes out,
So they're trying to capture one.
they're trying to capture Patel
Oh, so he can develop the off switch.
so he can make the off switch.
Right.
Or they assume he just has an off switch.
Right.
Like, because they're robots, on off switch. Like, that's how they explain it.
Mm-hmm.
This leads me to wonder more. So, gangsters get a hold of Chappie, and you mentioned that every time the RoboCops go to battle, Chappie gets hurt. Who are the RoboCops battling? Like, what is the social setting?
Okay,
What's the world?
So
setting?
Johannesburg and cop or police homicides have been rising. Like, police have been getting killed more and more often, and so they create a police force too. And so, like, human fatality's gone down, crime's gone down, and Patel is the guy who made these robots. And Hugh Jackman is the competitor who wants the big tank from RoboCop looking thing.
But they work in the same office.
They work in the same office, like all same aisle on their cubicles, like, and so he takes the robots, he takes these parts out, and then as soon as he takes them out, they take him. So they're like, "Hey, where's this on-off switch?" I mean, they're like going to kill him, and he's like, "There's no on-off switch. That's not how this works." And then they check out the van and see that Chappie's in there and number 22's in there. And then
At this point, he's not self-aware.
no.
Is that right?
And Patel's so obsessed with getting himself where he's like, "Fine, I'll put that robot, like we can use this robot," because they have to perform this heist or they're going to get killed by like a gang member or something. Like, they have to get $20 million or something like that. So they so they're like, okay. And then, like, it's like he knew too much already. He's like, "Okay, I can get you this working robot. You can do whatever you want with it, but it's going to be like a child at first. You're going to have to teach it how to do things." And like,
and then they grow to love it, like a little puppy.
that's the best part, is that they, like, the woman mothers it, but the father never accepts it as
the hoodlums.
Oh yeah, the hoodlum,
The rappers.
the two rappers, and there's a third guy. They call him America because he's his Hispanic guy from America. So they call him America. So the hoodlum mom loves Chappie. Ninja, the rapper dad, never accepts him as anything, because the thought process is it'd be like Patel and her are the mother and father, and he's the adoptive father. So he never really accepts Chappie as his responsibility.
So we have Dev Patel, or his character, who has an actual child that's been adopted, right?
No, Chappie is his child that's been adopted. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's how that's the social dynamic.
Well, the way you said it before, it was like he had an actual child,
yeah,
and they were trying to draw that parallel.
Well, that's not. No, that's what I'm saying is Chappie is his child that's been adopted out.
Oh, that was unclear.
I'm sorry, but so he's, every time he goes to see Chappie, Chappie's growing more and more away, like, not what he wanted. He's like, you can't commit.
He's starting to wear gold chains.
Right, stuff like
It's
that.
exactly like Short Circuit. He talks about vatos.
Yeah.
Right. It's got a little song he sings.
So
Does it end like an 80s movie? Like, is there
the ending
everyone
is
doing a
excellent.
dance at
the
the
ending
end?
is the best part. Now, they do something that would make you not like the ending, and I cannot say what that is because the plot spoiler. But let's say it's just a happy ending all the way around.
Is it a large dance routine?
No, it's not a large answer.
Do they all jump and freeze frame?
Yes.
That was a yes.
It was that type of moment.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's the Blomkamp 2015 version of that moment. I don't know. It's a serviceable. It's a good action movie with asking good questions, but it's not going to be, like, it's not like Her, where it's like tackling it head on or anything like that. It's just more of a background story.
Really? Okay. So Neil Blomkamp on Twitter has been posting pictures of H.R. Geiger sketches and hinting that he has been tapped to direct the next Alien movie. So,
Well, isn't that official?
yeah, 1 week ago, I was very excited by this idea because of the feel and the style that Blomkamp brings to his movies, even if the stories don't hold up well.
Right.
Are you still excited, having seen Chappie, for Neil Blomkamp
Well,
to direct
here's
the
the
next
question
Alien?
though: is he gonna write
Well,
the
that's
next
what I was
Alien?
gonna say. It's kind of like the guy who did Sucker Punch,
Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder. I like Zack Snyder's director. Like,
God, I want to.
Zack
He's
Snyder's
another-
movies are some of the best movies.
okay,
I've
so
seen.
but Sucker Punch got hit for its script not making sense. The more I think about it, the better, more I like it. It's hard to explain, but
Sure.
so I think that's going to be the situation where he's given a good script and then he can put his style on it, which is very aesthetically pleasing,
Sure.
and his way of directing people and stuff. So
I feel like Blomkamp is like the Unreal Engine of movie directors, though. Like
yeah,
gritty Space Marine.
yeah,
Exactly.
But that fits Alien.
right. Well, I mean, even if you think about District 9's character, he's the Ridley of. He could be.
Ridley.
Is that her name? Right?
Ripley?
Ripley.
Ellen
Sorry,
Ripley?
Ripley. Sorry, he's Ridley. I don't know. He'd be he's like Ripley, where she's he's just like on this ride and he just needs to get out, and so he can do stuff like that if it's going to go back to its roots. I don't know, like if it's going to be like the second one, Aliens, all action, then yeah, he can own that easily.
It's
But
going to take place in Johannesburg.
Yeah. That.
Is that like a requirement in his contract, do you think?
Yeah, like, hey, everyone, South Africa still exists,
Yeah.
and it's still
And-
pretty awful here. I want you
and
to see
apparently
this.
he likes rappers because he wanted Eminem to do Elysium. So like
Right.
he has two requests.
Maybe Eminem should have done Elysium, right?
I mean, he said Matt Damon is the saving grace of it. So
I
Yeah,
guess.
I do.
I wouldn't say that. It didn't impact me.
Actually, yeah, I liked Charlton Copley and Elysium as well.
Oh,
as
That was a
the-
good one.
As the bad guy.
That
Yeah.
was a good one.
no, I love Alien. I think I still like him. He needs to get out. Actually, if they made a fourth one that was just like the previous three, I'd go watch it and say it was good. So I can't really say anything.
A fourth Alien?
No, a fourth, like,
A fourth Blomkamp.
yeah, like
Epic.
with this type of storyline.
I think that's what I've heard, that it's gonna be like all the Alien movies that came out since the third one are just like they didn't happen, or something like that. As far as this goes, I heard something like that. I don't know.
As
That
long as
might
they
be-
include the third one in it, I'm okay with that because I really like the third one.
Yeah.
The dog-based Alien.
It's my favorite of the three. I know it's not the best of the three, but it is my favorite of the three. So,
Well, the best one. Well, anyway, but
yeah,
the first one's the best.
yeah. The
think
first
everyone
one
can
is
agree
the,
with that.
yeah. The
Yeah.
first one is the best,
I've
and
I've
especially for being so original. But
I've watched Alien and Alien 3 within the last 2 years and still loved them both. The first one though holds up the very best.
right,
I started to watch Aliens and fell asleep because it's
I think some of my love for it is because Alien 3 was looping on TBS all the time, and Alien 1 wasn't. So that could be part of the reason that I like 3 so much. But 3 is my favorite. But no, I have no worries about him doing this. I think that he could also get, now there's going to be more outside control on him, and maybe he can learn some stuff from them, like how to.
you think studio meddling could save
Well,
Neil Blomkamp.
I'm sure Ridley Scott's going to be producing this, right?
I mean,
I
it wouldn't be a strange thing to expect.
Yeah, so if he could learn from Ridley Scott, I mean Ridley Scott's gone off the deep end a little bit too, but
Yeah.
there's I think that this could be good, and his next one that he has personal control over, and if he's making these for $40 million, why not? Like $40 million Chappie, sure, that'll make money, go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to give him credit there again.
Do you think though, since the Alien universe, as we've enjoyed it, not as it's always existed, has been dark and drippy, I would say, dark and drippy, and Neil Blomkamp likes sun-baked. Do you think that'll...
I do wonder if the script is.
We're going to have desert camo aliens?
Yeah, I'm wondering if because of the script that they want to use, they specifically went after him because of the shots he has. Is that something that they
Sounds
would,
right. Yeah.
Is that something they do? Like, if they have a script, they pick a director that does those sets well.
Well, he may have not even been the first director that was offered the job,
True.
and he may not even have the job by the time it starts shooting.
Also true.
But yeah, you're gonna find a director that has the same tonal quality as what you want.
Okay. So yeah. So I mean, we could probably expect that it's not going to be on a spaceship a lot.
Please don't be Earth. I don't. We don't need it. I liked. I'm gonna admit this. I liked the second Aliens versus Predator movie. Or how about this? I would have liked it if they could have gone for the R rating. Just something about the eggs
Which
being
one was that?
pumped. Aliens versus Predator Requiem was the one based in
never heard
Colorado.
I never
Maybe
seen
that's why I liked it. It was so close to being an R-rated movie. Like the face hugger impregnating a person, you can see the throat.
Of all the ones
Frog
that
throat.
Yeah. It's
I don't like.
oh.
One, I want there to be an Alien versus Predator where there's no humans. Two, the best one that's been post whatever is Predators. Is that the one where they're like on an alien planet?
Predators was still not very good.
Yeah, I've still
I-
not
I-
been able to sit through it in its entirety.
I liked it. I thought it was.
I should have.
It was. I thought it was.
It wasn't as
Morpheus
bad
and-
as it could have been.
It's better than Predator versus Alien. That's for
That's
sure.
very
Yeah, that
true.
was
Yeah.
that was a family adventure movie.
Alien vs Predator is like Die Hard 2. It's
Yeah.
unwatchable.
Yeah. So, but it was serviceable. But yeah, I have full confidence that this guy can pull it off. I still think he's super talented, and I think he just likes his ideas. I can't wait till like they're trying to like pick places to shoot, and he's like, I do know this one city, and they're like, no,
Yeah.
stop, shut up.
You're like, it's the only desert with penguins. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's true. If they do it in South Africa, just as Alien 3 gave us a dog alien, Aliens versus Predator could give, or Alien 5 could give us a penguin alien,
Mm-hmm.
a desert
or a
penguin.
shrimp, you might say.
Yeah.
it's
A
just,
prawn.
it's just adorable, even though it's an alien. It's like
Yeah.
waddling up.
Yeah. He's got a little bow tie. Like, hey, look, he dressed up for the occasion. Or who knows, since it'd be a sandy desert, it could impregnate a scorpion? I don't know.
Mm.
I don't think scorpion gestation works
Yeah.
in a manner.
And then
that
the
would
tail
carry.
has parts that come out of it, like the tail opens up
There
and
you
then another
go.
part pops out. Yeah.
Fan fiction.
Is there any hint of what that movie's going to be about? Like, it's based on a comic book story already, or no?
I haven't looked. I'm sorry.
Could be. That's where the first few came from, right? I don't remember. Which came first?
The movie came before the comic books.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, DVD level, unless you have a District 9 tattoo, and then go watch it in IMAX.
Right. Redbox it.
Redbox. Yeah, that's probably
Maybe even order it on Netflix if you do the DVD thing.
right.
So are you not recommending that we go see it in theaters? Are you saying it's cool that we missed it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah. Like it's not theater worthy unless you're just, blood's pumping. Like
After District 9, I wanted Neil Blomkamp to be like the next.
The next M. Night Shyamalan.
No, I wanted
Yes.
him to be the next Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah.
I
The
think
sci-fi Darren
the
Aronofsky.
similarities to M. Night Shyamalan are not fair because he's still producing serviceable movies, and M. Night Shyamalan is.
Well, M. Night Shyamalan was, as many people would tell you, good through the first three.
Yeah, and I think that it became cool for no reason to hate M. Night Shyamalan. Like I
No.
stopped
Have you-
watching his movies, but
I don't hate him as a person. His movies are just really bad.
are they actually consistently awful, or is it? Because it's like he
Well-
became the Comic Sans, right? Like everyone knows it's cool to hate Comic Sans.
No. Okay, so
The
Unbreakable.
Village was not good. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. For me, it's not very good because I only like Unbreakable. That's all of his movies that I like.
You only like Unbreakable?
Mhm.
Unbreakable is his best movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense just did not.
The
do
Sixth
for
Sense
me.
was good, but it doesn't hold up for rewatching so well.
Mhm.
I may have only seen Signs. Sixth Sense was where I learned what we didn't have the word spoiler when Sixth
That
Sense came
didn't
out.
exist before. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my sister came home from the theater, got home from the theater and was like, he was dead the whole time. What a ridiculous movie.
Oh, wow.
I was like, all right.
Okay.
Pass?
Yeah.
If you're gonna put a twist into a movie, it has to be unspoilable. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like The Matrix. Could anybody have really spoiled The Matrix for you?
Yeah. I mean, if
It
the
would have
plot-
taken them some time.
Right. Well, if the plot twist is like they're really in the Matrix, I'd be like, okay.
They're in the what's the Matrix? Like
Yeah.
you have to have
Yeah,
a whole
exactly,
conversation to
right.
spoil it. You can't spoil
It's
it.
like
in
a
single
it's like a
sentence.
robot world, and there's like a real world, and it's like I don't.
Yeah.
So you're saying when he's at the desk, that's the real world? Like,
Yeah.
no, that's the Matrix.
Yeah.
When he's in the sci-fi world, that's the real world. It's like, okay.
If
like,
you're gonna put a twist in a movie, it has to be unspoilable, at least
Right.
not in a single sentence.
Right.
And that's where M. Night Shyamalan went wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't. That's not true of The Happening. The Happening didn't have a twist, but
I thought it
was
did.
Just,
That it was like the
no.
trees the whole time or something. I didn't watch it.
I don't think that was a major reveal.
Yeah, like they had it like covered in the news. Like at some point, it's like, oh, this is gonna stop. The happening is the only spoiler. But like they live.
Yeah. Do they? That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
next question. Because
Yeah.
at the very end, spoiler.
Oh,
Not that
yeah.
you should watch The Happening. At the very end, like the next attack happens.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's
Yeah.
how the movie
A
ends.
friend of mine called it the crappening.
Yeah.
The Crappening. Also, The Village. And The Village, I really didn't like for the reason that I don't think I would like Chappie, which is they just give it to you. Does that make sense? They push it down your throat. And the bad thing about that is it's supposed to be a secret. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
Chappie
the
is.
agenda of The Village is so clearly outlined that you cannot have a twist.
Would you say District
yet it
9
does.
just doesn't give it to you? I think Elysium, Chappie, and District 9 are all kind of straightforward.
I'm at the advantage of I am not and definitely was not too hip on South African history, right? And
Okay.
and so I didn't even cross my mind.
Their 1950s or their 1960s happened in the
Right.
1980s.
Yeah,
I would
well,
say
I mean
there's your
I've
comparison.
heard a lot of this since then,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, and that was my advantage going into it.
Okay.
Was as direct as it may have been, I'm not South African.
Okay.
Right.
I understand. Okay. No, I agree. I was just saying, like, I think they all three have that in common where he just has, it's just kind of straightforward. But no, it's still serviceable.
And it was different, right? Like it wasn't 100% unique,
Right.
but it gave us a story in a different way.
Yeah. I do feel, I was trying to decide if Chappie came out first, if we would be making fun of District 9, but I still think District 9 is significantly
No, I
better
don't-
to the
yeah.
point. Yeah.
District 9 gave us not an alien invasion. They gave us aliens with a flat tire.
Right. No.
to-
Well, yeah, I agree. I was just like, when I came out and I thought that, I was like, is Chappie not that great because I've seen it 2 other times, or is it because it's not that great? Does that make sense? And the answer is it's
Ah.
not that great. Like,
Okay.
it would have made more of a splash if it had been the first one, but it still wouldn't have been District 9 level.
Mhm. If Chappie had been the first one, would Neil Blomkamp be Neil Blomkamp?
Yeah, he would have got to make Elysium. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's still that good.
Okay. So all right.
But
Is it
it's-
worth watching to be able to credibly trash the movie, or is it just
I mean, the arguments are going to be heavy-handedness, like, oh, okay, I get it, he's God. Oh, okay, I get it, she's the mom. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it, he's the dad.
Well, I kind of
get
think
it.
you have to watch it just because it's modern day film history. Like if film criticism is the thing that you'd like to do,
Mhm.
you have
Yeah.
it's part of the conversation now.
got to be able to credibly knock it?
Yeah, but if it was a brand new director and this was the movie, we would be less critical of what he did.
Mhm.
You'd be like, oh, this is a good start.
So one more thing on the movie. This year, 2015, has had Elon Musk, computer dude, well, okay, Tony Stark, Bill Gates, and Stephen Hawking have all decided to tell us, hey guys, maybe this AI thing isn't a good idea. Did Chappie vindicate them? Like, I'm not like pop culture is going to show us the light, but did it give us a bleak outlook, a dangerous outlook on what AI is?
the last 10 minutes of Chappie, I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but okay, so the idea is that AI becomes rapidly intelligent to the point that, like it learns faster and then it's smarter than us. And once it's smarter than us, it exponentially grows.
Is there ever a scene where Chappie reads a book? like a paper.
No, he
book.
doesn't read quickly. No, he
Oh,
doesn't do
okay.
that.
That's too bad.
But what they do, rather
pages
than
fluttering.
say, rather than with
Frankenstein.
like the singularity where like everything's going to be a mess because computers are enhancing everything so quickly and finding us unusable.
They realize that humans are a
Right.
calamity.
Rather than do it that way, what they did was he does one thing that would be the most significant thing in humankind. Like AI is cool, and then what he does because he can learn so fast is even cooler, and he could only do it if he was conscious.
See, now I feel like that's almost a selling point.
Yeah.
Other than
But that's the last 10 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Like it builds up to a sell-off, payoff.
Okay.
And that's why I can't say like you're going to enjoy the whole movie. You're going to enjoy. You have to watch the whole movie to enjoy the end, but you might only enjoy the last 15 to 20 minutes.
got it.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
But the question asked at the very end is so good, and I've been trying to ignore it because
It can't be that deep, though, can it?
it's deep
From everything you've been saying.
It's deep if you think about it. Like it's not deep what they do on the screen. It's the deep that for him to do this, he has to to be self-aware. And then that's the interesting part.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that he has to be self-aware to do.
To do something that no one else has done, can do.
Like a human is incapable of doing this thing.
Yes.
Does Chappie need to be entertained? Does he do entertainment?
They did tackle all of the emotions. He's like happy, sad, angry. In the previews, you never see him angry, and I was worried that they were going to just make him a child the whole time. And
Yeah.
they do. He does get angry. So. And like he's looking for his father's approval and all that. And he has two fathers, and each one has a different standard for approval, and he's
Right.
split between the two.
You know why AI is not dangerous, though, at the moment? I mean, sure, it could cripple the internet and banks and all that stuff, right? But we don't have robotics, anything like Chappie. Like, the AI of Chappie is closer than the physical side,
So,
the robotic side of it,
real quick,
isn't it?
To get all doomsday preppery, how long could you survive with no electricity? Like, how long are you today prepared? Let's say the
Right.
lights go out right now. How long can you go without electricity?
I get that, what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
computers
it's-
control where we get our electricity from.
So let's say
Yeah.
the
And
AI
our water and our
is at
food.
least as smart as us. The AI orders a factory to be built, and people are getting paid, so they'll build it. And then they design the robots, and then they have a robot army.
Like they create a phantom corporation
Yeah.
that hires all kinds of people.
Mm-hmm. That would be like if you say, "Hey, I'm going to pay you $20 an hour."
If you get
okay.
if you get an email,
What if you teach your AI about the importance of biodiversity and the dangers of monoculture crops and animals and stuff, and it goes, "Oh, wait a minute, these human things are they're really screwing that up. We should probably
yeah. If only a movie has done that, which I can name off the top of my head. I can name two. So
yeah,
The Fifth Element
yeah,
did that, and The Abyss
yeah,
did that. Actually, all James Cameron. That's like James Cameron's thing.
Mhm.
yeah. That's true. That's very true.
And now Neil Blomkamp's doing Alien. Maybe
Whoa.
maybe James Cameron's like his secret mentor.
Have we
It's like
seen
Neil Blomkamp is the Richard Bachman to James Cameron's Stephen King.
Have we seen Neil Blomkamp and James Cameron in the same room at the same time? Because like James Cameron takes
Yeah, that's the real question.
years off at a time. Is he
Yeah.
really taking years off at a time, or
Where they're like at a party and they're like, "Hey guys, Neil Blomkamp's about to show up," and James Cameron's like, "Oh, I need to go to the bathroom."
yeah, he takes his glasses off. It's like
Yeah.
Neil,
Yeah,
Yeah, it was-
changes his part to the other side.
yeah, yeah. There is a lot of similarities between them two. Now I think about it, huh? Just a different aesthetic, but same.
So Neil Blomkamp is gonna direct Hindenburg instead of Titanic,
Oh yeah,
large vessel
Yeah,
disaster.
Yeah, I picked up on that. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
If we're lucky, Neil Blomkamp's Hindenburg.
There it is.
It's gonna be a story of two Star-crossed lovers.
It's totally different. The girl dies at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they both die technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also true.
Right.